Hello, Henning here. I have the absolutely impossible task now to do a comparison video buyer's guide to Badcat amps. It's probably impossible. I will give you the quick rundown as I did in all the individual videos. If you're interested in any of these amps, some of the stuff you're going to hear here is going to be doubled if you watch the individual videos for these amps. So, Badcat, I ran into these folks at NAMM a while ago, I think 2020, maybe 19, I don't know. Great people, hang out with John Thompson, good guy. And I know, of course, that they have a long history making amazing boutique amps. I didn't know that they were rather affordable. And then at some point I heard that my good friend Peter Ahrens started working with them. And Peter and John and the team in a room, whoa, that could only be good. So they did streamline their production process quite a bit. And as you can see, all the wooden boxes are the same, except that it's bottom loaded here and top loaded on all the others. By the way, this usually has chicken heads like the others, not the red ones. I customized that. That's mine. It's a metal amp. It needs red knobs. Come on. Did all the same boxes, the same Tolex, the same metal chassis. The guts are different. The tubes are different. But by doing this, and you can also see, foot switches. All of them have a 2-button foot switch. They all do the same thing, 2-button foot switch, but the labels are different, the names are different, and they do different things on the amps. But technically, you could use any of them. You just don't know what the labels then do. But that means you make one 2-button foot switch and you label it differently. It's just very, very efficient. And that means that the production process is streamlined. You still have 5 different amps, and you have a better price point because it is just cheaper to make because you're doing more volume. They come with beautiful dust covers, all the same size because they can order in higher volume. The thing for you as a Badcat customer who wants a Badcat amp, and you might have played one, but you're like, oh, maybe is there an even better one? How do you know which one it is? The easy answer is you go in a shop and you play them. Will a shop have all 5? I mean, likely if you're looking at the LYNX, that's the only one that's relevant to you. If you're looking at one of the others, well, then the other 3 might be interesting to you. So it's a good idea to check them out against each other to really find the one that's you. But shops might not have all of them in stock. There's also combo versions of all of these, by the way. The website is beautiful. It gives you quite a bit of information, and there's videos, and maybe my videos land there as well, if I'm lucky. But the website itself doesn't really tell you exactly, this is Voxish, Marshallish, Metalish, play this with a Strat, you want Gilmore, do this. Because again, why always compare it to the already established companies? They're not Vox or Marshall or whatever, they're Badcat. I will use those terms just to give you a bit of guidance, and some of them are hinting at what they are, by, for example, having a cut knob. And this is very chimey and Voxish, but it isn't a Vox, it's a Badcat Black Cat. Now, the really confusing thing is the frickin' naming. And I will critique in this video. I will. That's what I do. Badcat LYNX. Easy. Now, Avi Shabat names all of his guitars after cats. I have a LYNX, which is the Strat style. There's a Lion, which is the T style. There's a Puma, and so on and so on. Why not do this here? LYNX, easy. But then Badcat Black Cat. Do you know? I've had these for a month now, and I can still not remember which one is the Black Cat or the Hot Cat. Cub's easier, that sticks, that can stay, but that's the Jet Black. So there's the Black Cat and the Jet Black and the Hot Cat. They're all Bad Cats. Come on, Badcat. Puma, Kitty Cat, House Cat, whatever. Would be easier. We'll go through them right now, and then we'll do comparative sounds, but also sounds. Actually, as I talk about each, I'll give you some sounds from that video. Where do we start? Want to start over here? Why not? The Cub. That's a 1-channel amp. 30 watt, 2 times ER34, single channels, got a clean and overdrive mode. They all have, if they have reverb, which this doesn't, but the rest it does, a studio quality reverb, which simply means it's a digital reverb, which avoids saying digital reverb when you say studio quality, but it's a good reverb. They all have a buffered effects loop. They all have the tube and foot switch. They all have Baltic Birch. They all have the slipcover included. They all have a 5-year warranty. This is all the same. They all have the same dimensions. They all have 8 ohm, 4 ohm, 16 ohm, I think. Is it 4 ohm? Yeah, they all have the same output. So how do they differ? One channel, clean and overdrive modes. I would describe this as the most Fendery, as the most California, in the sense that the mids are scooped. It's got big bottom end and big top end, super chimey, super sparkly. It's also probably the most low gain of them. Not saying that it is low gain and can only do cleans. No. When you go to the overdrive mode, it does do quite a bit. But it is the most mid-scooped, probably the most conservative of them. No tremolo, but the nice reverb, 2 masters, switchable, full EQ and presence. So let's take some sounds in from this baby, maybe with some product shots. How about that? And later we'll hear it compared to the others. Now the Badcat is kind of blown up. It's not a JTM. It isn't, because it doesn't really... Note. It doesn't really go into its knees when you're pushing it. It doesn't have that fizzly fuzz character when you're pushing the power amp. And it's a 45 watt amp. You don't want to push that power amp or you die. It does have 45 watts, kind of like a JTM. 2 times ER34, fixed bias class AB. Okay. 2 channels, low and high gain modes. So we have gain 1 and gain 2. There's a low and a high gain mode. So looking at this, it is actually identical with the placement of the channel 1 and 2 and the low and the high to the high gain beast, the LYNX. The only difference is this has a gate right here because it's a metal amp, and this has a reverb right here. The Badcat can get ridiculously nice cleans, as they all kind of can. They can all kind of do that. This also, but not as perfect as the others. And I would say the more classic rock sounds. It does get denser, it does get JTM-ish, but it's not a JTM. But you know what? Let's just listen to it. phenomenal. If two individual gains, two individual volumes, and a master volume are what you need, along with a reverb and a low and a high gain setting, which is foot switchable, hot-cat, low, channel 1 and low-high, then that might be your amp. The Badcat. Those names, people. This was 45. This was 30. This is 20 watts. So technically the lowest wattage amp of them. We have a volume and a master. It's weird that it's called volume and master, right? But it's a volume and a... So it's a gain and a volume and a gain and a volume. They're calling it volume and master and volume and master. So two channels with individual volume. There's no master volume on this. Individual volume and switchable. We've got treble and bass, no mids. And a cut. So it is, in a way, Voxish. Does it sound like that? Hell yeah. So the special thing is in the video, if you watch the individual video for this, as you should, if you are looking for something Vox-like, with the most amazing top end. When you're pushing the treble up, you're actually scooping the mids. And you're getting more in the direction of the cub. When you're taking the treble down, you're actually bringing the mids in. Amazing. That makes this thing, understanding this, makes this thing very flexible as a killer clean platform. With cut, you can trim off that chimey top end. You have a beautiful, very drastic, if you want to, tremolo and the beautiful studio reverb. But of course, when you go to channel 2, Bob's your uncle, it isn't all clean. There's definitely quite a bit of rock and roll and classic rock sounds in there. Not pow-pow rock. More like, I don't know, Bryan Adams and Tom Petty rock. Not where it is really hitting you hard. Now, if you want that, let's not do that yet. It is the sweetest of them. The cleans are sweet. The drives are sweet. It never really wants to be aggressive. It never wants to be down. It's more like la 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 la. Like, you know, like cacao, but you know, I pet you. It's a sweet, beautiful amp. Here are the clips. where this ends, this kind of begins. Well, not quite, but I mean, no. This is... see the Jet Black as an extension of the Badcat, because they both have 84s. What does it mean? Not too much if you ask me, but to some of you it does. So this has 84s with 20 watts. Was that correct? Yes. Now this has 4 84s with 38 watts. 3 AX7s, 2 channels, independent volume and master. So you can see, because it's over here, because it's at the bottom, everything's reversed. So we got volume master, just like this is volume master, with a switch. This time on top instead of the bottom because it's reversed. We got treble, mid, bass. That's where it differs because this has treble, bass, and cut. So this has a full EQ, and I'm going to get to that in a sec. Then we got the same tremolo and reverb that we have here. So they are very similar. The difference is, the EQ is a post EQ. So see this like a studio EQ that you apply kind of after the whole drive section happens. So you're not shaping how it drives, but how the drive sounds. Okay, because it's past the gain. And this is probably the most rocky of them. This is very sweet. This gives you more gain. It also has great cleans, very dependent on the guitar that you're pushing into it. But it is the one that has more of that pa-pow, whereas this is the pa-pow. And this is pa-pow with a knife. This is stabby. Okay? Get it? Definitely the rock one. Want to call it the Marshall one? I wouldn't, because it's a Badcat Jet Black. But if you really want to, then it's a 84 power kind. I don't know. I don't know. No. But it's the rock one. Let's listen. And then the most watts no, I cannot remember all this, is of course the LYNX. 50 watts, 2 EL34, 2 channels, low and high gain modes. Kind of like the Hotcat with the 2 channels, low and high gain modes. So idea-wise, very similar. But whereas this is very classic rocky, this has peach fuzz on its weenie. That's a Steve Vai reference. Again, usually has the chicken heads, but I made it more metal. The one thing that this amp doesn't have is a very metal look. No tread plate, no spikes coming out of it, no gremlins on the, I don't know. It's just not, we're not used to Badcat doing a high gain amp. And when I heard that high gain has now a Badcat amp, when I heard that Badcat has now a high gain amp, I was like, really? Schuster bleibt bei deinen Leisten, we say in German. That means stick within the realm of what you know. It's about a shoemaker. Shoemaker, stick with the shoes and don't make cars or something like this. How wrong I was, because this is one of the most amazing high gain amps that I've ever played. I don't like it when I play it by itself, because it's got that fizzy, fuzzly top end. Because it's got that fuzzly top end and super dense saturation, and I like it more open. I like to hear all my strings and be in control, and it gives me my strings being in control. The gallop is right there. I wrote riffs with this that I would have never written with any other amp. When I play it by itself, I'm like, what is this? And then you put it in a mix with drums and bass, and there's 2 tracks left and right, and it's just the fullest thing ever, and there's no space for anything. It's just the fullest thing ever, and there's no space for anything anymore. It's massive. Doesn't look like it, but it's massive. So we got gain 1, gain 2, which can be very raw. Maybe think 800-ish, but not really, when it's on low. And then when it's on high, it immediately goes into massive, totally different sound and all the gain you ever wanted, but still complete string separation. You can play triads and everything, and it's all there. I don't know how they're doing it. So 2 gains, 2 volumes, bass, middle, treble. Mids are effective, the rest okay-ish. A presence, and a very, very, very effective gate that absolutely, bam, is right there, and it doesn't eat your tone. So let's get sounds for this. So some of them are definitely in the same territory. Some of them are clearly doing the same things at similar settings. Let's go and compare them right next to each other using an MP switcher by one of the guys that is behind these amps, Peter Arendt. And we're going to go and take a couple of different guitars. We're going to take a Strat into them with some chords. Now we're going to take a strat into them with the in-between position in the back and just do some really chimey things and see how they compare. Obviously, that baby and that baby are going to shine there, whereas the others are also able to do it. Let's put it that way. Now, obviously, we got to go hamburgers. So we're going to take a Heritage Gold Top single cut into these guys at like, a Rocky kind of a thing. Moving on to more chung chung chung. I think if I'm correct, we're using the Sully 71 Trailer into them with a bit more. And some of these are already at the very top end of what they can do, but I had to dial it up so they would be comparable in gain. And now, really not fair, loads more gain, which this, of course, can do. So we went higher and higher and higher, and the others were like, no more, we can't do more. This was like, yeah, feed me, Seamer, feed me. learned that I definitely keep this one. I've learned that I very, very badly want this for just the most chimey. When you think of Vox, that's the amp that I would want, period. So I might have to have a conversation with them. You want a straightforward rock amp that is very flexible, but definitely for the rock, punk, and all that stuff, the Jet Black is a good bet. No idea why this one is at the bottom and has different knobs, whereas they went for the metal one on top with chicken heads. Strange. It's a cool look, but that could have been the metal one, whatever. But this is definitely your rock amp. 84s, 84s, 34s, I think, I don't remember, 34, whatever, all of them. None of them have 606s or 6v6s. But again, it doesn't matter. Listen to the sounds. I would say the Hot Cat is very classic rocky. This is more punchy rock than this. But it depends on you. It depends on your guitar. It depends on what pedal you're pushing it with. These are rough guidelines. And the Cub is your one channel with overdrive mode. More mid-scooped, as you could clearly hear in the video. Definitely loads of low end, but definitely more mid-scooped. Obviously, I forgot to say this in the video. This was all with the 212 V30 loaded Badcat cap, which is great. Recorded with a Roya R10 ribbon, kind of to the side, and an SM57 kind of right off center. As you do, very, very traditional combination. Maybe that told you something. Maybe now you know you really want the super chime of the Badcat. Maybe you want a great 2-channel rock amp, whereas you can also do rock with this, but this rocks harder. This rocks more classic-y and a little bit more... If you're looking for the rock, it's probably these two. Check them out against each other. If you're looking for the chime and the cleans, it's these two. It's the Cub and the Badcat. I can never remember that. Cub and the Badcat, whereas this is more mid-scooped than this. This can be mid-scooped with the treble up or more mid-focused with the treble down. If you're looking for the high-gain beast of the century, this is an over-exaggeration, but just a really, really good high-gain amp. The LYNX, I was afraid this would fall over. Then I would have bought them all. The LYNX is your friend. Full disclosure, I got paid to make these videos. I gave them a deal, and part of this deal is that I get to keep one amp, which is this one, because I forgot where I put the knobs. But I really want this one in my rack as well. So, please leave it. Okay. I hope that told you something. I had fun doing this. It was a absolutely mega mammoth project. And I hope Badcat's happy. And they have the Rubicon coming, which is a lunchbox amp with 2-note torpedo built in. I mean, knowing how good these are, how bad can the Rubicon be? Not bad at all. I hope that I get to look at that as well. That's it from here. I put links below to everything. If you want the shirt, links below. There's a coupon code. I don't get anything, but they do send me shirts. So thank you, Mr. Gugu. But you always ask, where can I get the shirt? It's in the description below. I put links below to shops. Please use them. That absolutely supports the channel and feeds our dogs. Thank you very much. And we put animals at the end, as always.
And hear the feeling come